What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died? I did get in trouble for this answer at Star Wars Con. I got heat.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. You know, people have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now.
You should just shut up.
No, guys, you can't make this up. Charlie Barnett, who's playing a character in The Acolyte, actually said twice Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. And he compounded that with his favorite Star Wars movie is The Wrath of Khan. This is the level of fandom that the actors that Leslie Headland hired have for Star Wars. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's right up where one of the writers, when she was explaining Star Wars to Headland, said, Star Wars is Harrison Ford flying around the galaxy with a dog. And anybody honestly thinks you're going to get a good TV show with this? You honestly think that this is going to be good? Everything about this underlies the problem that the show is going to have, which is it's not Star Wars, okay? Lightsabers, aliens, talking about the Force doesn't make it Star Wars if there's no knowledge of the show. And again, this goes back to me saying, and I mean it, that Leslie Headland is not a Star Wars fan. You know, she can sit there and wax rhapsodic and get all emotional, but she's not a Star Wars fan, okay? You don't do things like this. You don't hire people like this. The fact that this guy had to be controlled before he made a bigger ass of himself by the girl sitting next to him says everything. Absolutely unbelievable that this show has managed to get as far as it has.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people, and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does, and anybody that says they do.
I know that it can feel sometimes like, well, I like this thing and I don't like that thing, and if you don't like the Acolyte, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, the reality is that Star Wars in and of itself is not just a vast universe full of many different characters, many different eras, but it is always about the spiritual journey of what it is to become who you are. And that's why I am so overwhelmed and grateful to be here, and beyond overwhelmed and grateful to be allowed as a filmmaker to experience what it is like to actually tactilely make something in this world. That is beyond my wildest dreams, and I can't wait to show you guys more. I wish I could.
The Force, nobody understood the Force. Nobody, what they do is, and then they started other ones when I sold the company, and they, a lot of those ideas that were in there sort of got lost, but that's the way it is.
I think there was an assumption being made for quite a while that girls didn't care about Star Wars, or that girls weren't identifying with characters like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. They were only identifying with Princess
No, stop! Not one more crooked word! Your tongue could open a wine bottle!
As an agent, it's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her. Get out.
Be here all night.
Get out!
I mean, you'd have to be really a simple person, not intellectually honest, not intellectually curious, to actually believe anything Leslie Headland said, okay, about her fandom of Star Wars. It just, no, okay. And because I think, I've said this before, and Cameron Pasha and Corion have given me this idea, but when they talked about The Last Jedi, it is a mean-spirited show. Okay, there's no heart to it. You talk about, say, The Force Awakens, there's no heart to it, but it's trying not to be mean-spirited, even though it is. Okay, so you go into The Acolyte, and, you look at it, we've been told it's going to change Star Wars. We've been told that it's going to be woke, because, look, Leslie Headland is a left-wing, infected, bat crap crazy activist. She's not a fan. She's not a creator. She's not a creator at all. And she got her career boosted is by Harvey Weinstein after she left working for him, is par for the course. That's what happens. But to sit there and listen to her and pretend that she was some sort of victim when, look, she's 43 years old. High school was a long time ago. Let it the fuck go. Okay, let it the fuck go. Okay, but we've got to go through this, okay? Because she's a victim, her voice needs to be heard, and damn it will be. Okay, fine. But what does it have to do with a multi-million-dollar franchise, a multi-billion-dollar franchise? Nothing, okay? If you're hired, in my opinion, to do a Star Wars project, you do a Star Wars project, all right? That's it. You're not hired to put your personal mark on it. You're not hired to be mean-spirited, even though, from what I could tell, from what I was looking at, it looks, just by the way the trailers come out, that it looks mean-spirited, and it looks to be devoid of what makes Star Wars cool, it doesn't have any mythos. Okay, it's very small. And that's another thing about the filmmakers and TV creators that Kathleen Kennedy hired, is that Star Wars is no longer this huge galaxy. You could fit everything about what she's done on the eye of a needle, and there'd still be room for Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. Okay, that's how small it is. Okay, that's the thing that absolutely boggles my mind here, is that this whole thing, Charlie Barnett, The Wrath of Khan is his favorite Star Wars movie. Okay. Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. He doesn't say it once, he says it twice. You guys saw that. Saying literally the stupidest thing you could ever possibly imagine anybody saying for the sake of saying it. All right. He doesn't realize that there are people watching him going, what the fuck did I just hear? And if he did realize that, he'd scream racism, because that's what they do instead of going, oh, I messed up, I meant Luke. And, you could apologize for it being the slip of a tongue, but he didn't. And if you watch the video, like I said, the girl sitting next to him grabs him by the arm to tell him to shut up. Okay? And it's like, Leslie, why did you hire these people? Why did you allow this person anywhere near this franchise? Because she basically is as dumb as he is. And, she's the one that told the writers in the writer's room, I don't want you to be Star Wars fans. I didn't want to hire Star Wars fans. And that only works when it's Star Trek. Because the man who created the films, The Wrath of Khan especially, sat down and watched the show so he would understand it. Okay? Leslie Edlund can say what she wants, but she is literally the female Rian Johnson. He would hire Charlie Barnett. Which makes you think, do any of these people know anything about the franchise? Well, I think they all think George Lucas is a racist because Fatso right there in the circus outfit says so. And he's a misogynist because Fatso in the clown outfit said so. Okay? There you go. All right? So now we've got another thing that absolutely is so appalling to me. I mean, again, normies know Anakin Skywalker did not blow up the Death Star. Look, you can't say something about something that has existed for 50 years as a cornerstone of American pop culture and be fine with that. Being so outrageously wrong that it's not even, it's not even shocking. It's like, no, it is shocking. It is shocking, but it's indicative of the kind of people Kathleen Kennedy hired to create Star Wars, to be in Star Wars, that they don't know shit. No, they don't know shit about the franchise. And the excuse, I will say it right now, the excuse for this douchebag will be, oh, he was just in the moment, he was really excited. Oh, he just screwed up the film's name. I've done that before, and I've caught myself. But for fuck's sake, this show is so dead in the water. This show is so dead in the water. Charlie Barnett, Star Wars fan, said no one ever. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.